Coming up on Valley View News, a man swept to sea off the coast of Half Moon Bay, California, remains missing. The latest on the ongoing search next. Plus, the youngest American held hostage by Hamas has been released, as President Biden has promised to bring all American hostages back home. And actress Melissa Barrera gets dropped from the Scream franchise after her comments about the Israel-Hamas war drew accusations of anti-Semitism. That's all coming up.
Hello and welcome to Valley View News. I'm Tashi Rios.
And I'm Perez. The East LA community is demanding justice after the arrest of an amputee was caught on video. Cell phone footage shows 34-year-old Alejandro Hernandez being punched by a Los Angeles County Sheriff's deputy as he was on the ground. The incident happened last week. One deputy is seen holding Hernandez in a chokehold while the other deputy is holding his arms back. Hernandez's family says he was washing his truck when deputies came up from behind and started to harass him. The department argues deputies remembered Hernandez as an active gang member and said he was hiding a firearm in his waistband. Authorities recovered a loaded 9mm handgun during the confrontation. They arrested Hernandez for being an ex-felon with the firearm as well as battery on a police officer.
Meantime, community members and loved ones took to the street to call for justice. Last Saturday morning, protesters were outside the East LA Sheriff's Station demanding for an end to police brutality. Hernandez's mother says the deputies need to be held accountable for what they've done. His attorney is set to file a civil rights lawsuit. LA County Sheriff Robert Luna has not commented on the incident.
6 people are behind bars after a shooting at the Northridge Fashion Center on Black Friday. Police say the shooting came from a dispute between juveniles. Video from the scene shows the windows of H2O Sushi and Izakaya shattered with glass all over the front of the restaurant. Police yellow-taped the area around the property and the outdoor plaza as shoppers lingered. Nearby restaurants had to be evacuated for a few hours, and police say no injuries were reported.
The 110 freeway is back open after a small trash fire forced a closure over the weekend. Authorities say the fire broke out near the connector road aligning the 110 south to the 5 north. Los Angeles firefighters promptly confirmed the flames to a storm drain and extinguished them shortly after. Authorities say the incident was similar to a large-scale fire which led to the prolonged closure of Interstate 10.
A fire at an illegal marijuana grow house has left an Orange County couple scrambling to repair the damages to their small business. Valley View News' Tashi Rios spoke with the business owners who say they've lost tens of thousands of dollars in damages.
We knew something was wrong.
Amy Tang is the founder of Ulrich's Coffee in Orange County. She and her husband Lillard Wong have devoted the past 7 years to it. Last Monday, they came into work when the unthinkable happened.
We came into our warehouse unit and it was covered in ash.
After police arrived, officers discovered the neighboring unit's AC caught on fire. Wong says it's an illegal grow house. Video here shows the unit completely cleaned out with no one in sight.
We're so thankful that nobody got hurt. It's just stuff. As a small business, what's really tough is that all that inventory that's damaged, we still have to pay for until a check comes to reimburse us. So there's this actually a double pay that we have to do in order to keep operating.
The devastated couple says the losses add up to more than 75,000 pounds of green coffee beans, plus raw materials like packaging, kegs, and merchandise. In total, the company lost about $40,000 and still needs to pay to clean up all the ash.
Production has resumed, and the company has gained a lot of support from the community bracing the holiday season.
In this limbo period, we're paying for goods that we can't sell. Then we had to rebuy a bunch of inventory.
Even though the warehouse was severely damaged, their other unit, the roastery, was fully clean and fully operational. Since the incident, the two have filed an insurance claim but are still waiting for a response on what will be covered. In Anaheim, I'm Tashi Rios, Valley View News.
As they assess the damage, the two are hoping the holidays will help boost their sales. In other news, the search continues for a suspect who stabbed and killed a man outside a liquor store in South Los Angeles. The Los Angeles Police Department says it happened around 11:30 last Friday night near Lucky Liquor on South Main Street. The victim was taken to the hospital where he died. Investigators say it all started with a confrontation between a male suspect and the victim, which escalated into the deadly stabbing. The suspect is only described as a man who appears to be in his 20s. A motive is still unknown. If you have any information, you are urged to call LAPD.
Officials now know the identity of a man killed after being struck by both a vehicle and a big rig. The Los Angeles County Coroner's Office identified the man as 42-year-old Franklin Mejia. The deadly crash occurred last Saturday afternoon on Market Street and Railroad Avenue, near the Newhall Metrolink station. Officials say Mejia had been struck by one vehicle, then run over by a second. The man was remembered at a vigil at Bridge to Home homeless shelter Sunday night.
The U.S. Coast Guard are continuing their search for a 54-year-old man swept out of the sea by a wave along with a 5-year-old girl. The search for the man continues on the air and in the sea days after crews found the young girl and took her to a hospital. Officials say a wave swept the two off Martins Beach near Half Moon Bay, which is located about 30 miles south of San Francisco. According to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, at least 4,000 people die from drowning every year in the U.S. Drowning is a leading cause of death for children.
Meantime, authorities in Hawaii have now called off the search for a California man who was reporting missing last week. The 42-year-old man was last seen jumping into the ocean from rocks near the northwestern coast of Maui. Authorities say the search was called off due to the rough conditions in the ocean. The search could resume if any leads are provided or if there is a potential sighting.
$200,000 worth of items were stolen from a family's property in Chatsworth. The homeowner says they were Black Friday shopping when their stuff was stolen from their house on Hillview Avenue. He says that thieves bear sprayed his 2 dogs and stole designer handbags and jewelry.
Even with the online shopping takeover, malls were packed over the weekend in search of Black Friday deals. Valley View News' Leah Villalpando shares what lies in the future for the shopping holiday.
Long lines, crowded stores, and hundreds of holiday shoppers filled the Glendale Galleria for this year's Black Friday sales.
This year it's poppin'.
Shopper Priscilla Fabian, like many others, came in hopes of finding the best deals. But how does this year's Black Friday hold up compared to years in the past?
I don't think the sales are as good as they used to be. I came and they're only 30% off. I'm expecting like 50, 60, I don't know.
Remember when I was little, I would always see like new segments of people getting like trampled or like lining up outside at like 2 a.m. But I feel like you just like don't see that anymore. I don't know if we've like lost that or if just the sales aren't good enough for us to be doing that anymore. I don't know.
With some customers not enjoying the deals anymore, there might be questions on what the future of Black Friday looks like. But according to JCPenney manager Brett Wooliver, the shopping holiday is here to stay.
Black Friday is just the hallmark part of the holiday and the kickoff of the season, and all retailers always go big with marketing and incentives. So I think it will always be a big day in retail no matter what's going on.
And from the financial perspective, retail experts say consumers are still planning to spend big this holiday season.
They're definitely planning to open up their wallets and spend at levels similar to pre-pandemic years. So actually a 5% increase from prior year.
Although 1 a.m. lines and fights inside the store aren't around as much anymore, it looks like Black Friday isn't dead just yet. Reporting from Glendale, California, I'm Leah Villalpando, Valley View News.
Thank you, Leah. Black Friday sales reached a record high with consumers spending $9.8 billion in the U.S. Sales went up 7.5% compared to last year. But according to retail experts, several factors changed the way consumers spend this year. $79 million of sales came from shoppers who used the buy now, pay later option. And $5.3 billion of online sales came from mobile shopping, with analysts saying influencers and social media advertising makes it easier for consumers to comfortably spend on their phones. But spending is likely to fall off in December as the discounts get weaker, with Cyber Monday being the final spending spike of non-essentials for the year.
More to come on Valley View News. Looking for a new home? Data is showing something that might draw your interest. And artist P. Diddy is being sued by 2 women. The details on the different cases. Stay with us.
How you doing?
Hey, Mason.
Hey, Mason.
Thank you.
A place to make my own. A
place that I call home. This place that I call home.
When I was 10, my mom got deported. We had a difficult time, and I feel that's why I didn't get to finish school. My husband is really supportive in a way that he pushed me to go back to school.
She wants to have a career so her kids can look up to her.
They both keep me motivated to go to school, and they see that if I do it, like, they can do it too, you know? I feel that everything's possible.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
What are you doing in there?
What's that?
I wouldn't do that. What are you doing? What are you looking for?
Welcome back. Let's travel to news overseas. Lyssandra Vera is in our digital media center with the latest updates on the Israel-Hamas war. Lyssandra?
Thank you, Tashi. The ceasefire between Israel and Hamas has shown signs of holding, as militants released 17 additional hostages last Sunday. It includes 14 Israelis and the first American and the third exchange of the fourth-day ceasefire, with the U.S. hopes will be extended. President Biden said his goal is to extend the deal as long as possible. In return of the exchange, Israel released 39 Palestinians prisoners. A fourth exchange is set to happen on Monday, which is expected to be the last day of the ceasefire. In total, 50 hostages and 150 Palestinians are expected to be freed during the ceasefire. Of all hostages, the first American was released, identified as 4-year-old Abigail Edon. The White House says Abigail witnessed her parents' death in the October attack in southern Israel, which triggered the war. Abigail spent her 4th birthday while being held captive by Hamas just last week. She is one of the 10 Americans believed to be Hamas captives.
She's free, and Jill and I, together with so many Americans, are praying for the fact that she is going to be all right.
President Biden says the other American hostages include 2 women and 7 men. He's hopeful that more Americans will be released. Field trucks entered Gaza last Friday from the Rafah border. The trucks were sent carrying food, water, relief items, and first aid supplies. Israel's coordinator of government activities and territories say 4 fuel tankers and 4 trucks with cooking gas were approved during the truce. It's still unknown what other kind of aid is allowed in. 3 20-year-old Palestinian college students were shot Saturday evening in Burlington, Vermont, raising concerns about potential bias. Police say the students were walking near campus when they were confronted by a man with a handgun. The victims were taken to the hospital with 2 stable, while the other is in serious condition. The shooter is now facing 3 charges of attempted murder in the 2nd degree.
The suspect walked up to them and shot them. They weren't robbed. They weren't mugged. It was a targeted shooting and a targeted crime.
Civil rights groups are also calling attention to the role bias could have played in the incident. And that's the very latest from the Digital Media Center. I'm Lyssandra Vera, back to you.
Thank you, Lyssandra. Mortgage applications are rising as a drop in mortgage rates attracts home buyers. Data shows that mortgage rates are at the lowest level they've been in 2 months, with the rate on a 30-year loan dropping to 7.4%. Around 4 weeks ago, the rates were around 7.91%. And as a result, mortgage applications are now on the rise. The applications have increased 3% over the last week, making it the 3rd week in a row to go up. But while it is growing, the application demand is still down 20% compared to the same time last year.
Don't be a victim. That's the message from experts as the rise in scams during the holidays continues. Valley View News' Lyssandra Vera shows the possibilities of getting scammed and how to prevent it.
Scamming through artificial intelligence, an advancing threat that targets unsuspecting individuals. These scams often arrive as convincing phone calls, emails, or text messages, duping users into providing sensitive information or making unauthorized transactions. But what makes these scams so convincing? AI researcher and California State University Northridge professor says scammers personalize approaches to make it challenging for users to identify between real and fake communications.
You know, people, scammers have figured out that they can use AI to create these voices of relatives, and then they can go to a family member and use that voice and be able to, to make people think that there's this dire emergency.
As college students become prime targets, Nova Sanford knows from experience.
I gave her half the money up front, which was like $100 something. And then she was like, all right, I'll ask my mom about like shipping and stuff. And I'm like, okay. And then I just got ghosted.
The platforms to potentially get scammed are endless, even trusted platforms like on Amazon. There are many ways to find out that you're dealing with a scammer. For instance, they may call you to find out any information about you. I reached out to Amazon to find out any tips and tricks they recommend to avoid any scammers. As our reliance on online platforms grows, so does the threat of falling victim to scams. Bowen says it's crucial to be cautious about sharing personal information and report any suspicious activities. I'm Lyssandra Vera, Valley View News.
If you're on a tight budget, you may want to hear this. A mother and her children skipped Thanksgiving this year. Coolin Margin, a life insurance agent and barista, tells NBC News that skipping the holidays helps them save for a more comfortable Christmas and the children's birthdays. Margin says everything is expensive and they are always forced to work twice as hard to survive in a less enjoyable way. A retail spending and consumer finance trends for Bankrate says most people aren't as interested in traditional holiday shopping and gifts. He says that because of holiday spending and inflation, many retailers launched big promotions in October rather than waiting for Black Friday over the years.
More than 100 dogs are being relocated following a fire at a historic aircraft hangar in Orange County. It's all due to the Tustin Animal Shelter being too close to the still smoldering World War II structure. The dogs have been significantly restricted indoors due to toxic air contaminants. Orange County's Animal Care Department partnered with the American Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals to find a safe solution. They decided to fly the animals to a center for displaced dogs in Ohio. The dogs will be available for adoption in the next few weeks.
Becoming part of a family unit is something a pair of local dogs are familiar with. Valley View News' Lauren Hanna shares more.
Animal shelters are full of dogs and cats who don't have a family to spend the holidays with. But the city of Santa Clarita hopes to make a change. It's joining forces with Los Angeles County.
The partnership gives the pets at the Castaic Animal Shelter a second chance at life.
The city dedicated a week to pet adoptions, all fees waived for Santa Clarita residents.
The city, through events like this, help the county connect those animals in the shelter to loving homes in our community.
The shelter brought dogs to a local community center for the chance to get adopted.
It gives an opportunity for people who are timid about coming to the care center to adopt, an opportunity to come out here and adopt animals.
The shelter saw many cats get adopted throughout the week with the help of social media. City workers walked into the event with one goal in mind.
100% adoption rate. That was my goal. I want to see every dog here not return to the shelter. I want to see them go home to one of our residents in a warm, loving household.
At the end of the day, two families will have a forever friend this holiday season.
It is so emotional to watch and just so heartwarming to see these animals get a second chance at love and life. Like, you just see them totally brighten up.
Reporting in Santa Clarita, I'm Lauren Hanna, Valley View News.
Thank you, Lauren.
This almost makes me want to adopt a dog of my own.
My family's been thinking about adopting a German Shepherd, actually.
You definitely should.
When we come back, comedian and actress Tiffany Haddish has been arrested on suspicion of DUI. Also, the Chargers took on the Baltimore Ravens last Sunday night. We have the recap of the game. Stay with us.
Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
When I never graduated from high school, I realized I wanted to go back to school because I didn't want to work these back-breaking jobs the rest of my life. With the help of my father and having my son, that was all the motivation that I needed to come back to school. I felt accomplished, made me feel that I could take on whatever challenges life throws at you.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
I am so glad you ladies are here. You each have your own rooms.
Thank you.
Go.
Is it okay to call you Mom?
Of course you can.
Welcome back. Sean Combs, who many know as P. Diddy, has been sued again by 2 more women for separate sexual misconduct allegations. Joy Dickerson Neal claims Diddy drugged and assaulted her when she was a student at Syracuse University. Another woman, who was kept anonymous, says Combs and singer Aaron Hall assaulted her and a friend at the rapper's home. The lawsuit comes after his ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura filed a rape lawsuit. P. Diddy's spokesperson denies all 3 claims, which are some of the most recent suits against public male figures under the Adult Survivors Act.
Actress Tiffany Haddish was arrested in Beverly Hills for allegedly driving under the influence. Authorities say it happened last Friday on Beverly Drive and Dayton Way. A few onlookers spotted the comedian dozing off while the car was still on. Police took her into custody and released her shortly after. Haddish performed in a comedy club in West Hollywood the night before. The actress was also caught driving intoxicated last year in Atlanta.
Actress Melissa Barrera has been dropped from the Scream franchise following her social media reposts amid the Israel-Hamas conflict. Spyglass Studios fired Barrera, claiming pro-Palestine posts crossed a line of anti-Semitism. The Hollywood Reporter says co-star Janet Ortega will not return to the horror sequel as well. She says the film conflicts with the schedule of her Netflix show Wednesday, but fans believe otherwise. Users on X find it hard to believe the star would announce her departure from Scream 7 after Barrera's firing. Barrera has broken her silence, continuing she will continue to advocate for human rights and freedom. And she says she will speak on behalf of those who cannot.
Now in sports, Oklahoma City Thunder star Josh Giddey is now under investigation by the NBA. The former 6th overall pick is being accused of having relationships with a minor after footage of him was released last week. It is believed that the girl Giddey was with in the Instagram post was a junior in high school during the time of the photo. The 21-year-old guard is currently available to play, but it remains unknown what the actions the league will take.
The Los Angeles Rams traveled to the Valley last Sunday to face the Arizona Cardinals, and they brought reinforcements. After a season full of injuries for the Rams, they were finally able to get running back Kyren Williams back from injured reserve list. And he did not disappoint in his return. Williams reeled in 2 touchdowns and had over 200 scrimmage yards, helping the Rams pick up their 5th win of the season. They crushed the Cardinals with a score of 37-14. I had running back James Connor, on my fantasy, and the numbers were not amazing.
I just got Kyren Williams back, so those 200 yards really helped me win my match. So
lucky you. Now on to some high school football, where the season has crowned a champion. Valley View News' Alex Perez was at the final game. He has highlights and a post-game reaction.
Birmingham High School took on the Garfield Bulldogs for the CIF City Section Championship last Saturday night. The Patriots and the Bulldogs played for the Los Angeles City Section Open Division title, and it was physical from the start. Both teams started the game with a couple of punts, but then the Patriots got going with a big run from Rennell Hewitt and quickly scored 2, taking a 14-0 lead after the run. Then they kept coming. Birmingham was firing on all cylinders behind wide receiver Peyton Waters. The defense continued to get stops, and despite losing their kicker to injury in practice, Andy Bailon, who is usually a linebacker, went 7 for 7 on extra points. The game quickly slipped out of the Bulldogs' hands, and the Patriots showed their dominance yet again by making history, winning their 4th consecutive city championship and beating Garfield for a consecutive year in a row, this time with a score of 49-7.
We did it again, and now we're up to 42 wins. I guess ties the all-time city record. So we got one more to go, and I think we open up city section next year in league against Chatsworth.
This program being able to do it year after year, I think has been special, and it all starts with the coaches and what they instill in us. We knew that they've been waiting for this game all season, and we watched a lot of film and got prepared and did our jobs out here. So.
Head coach of Birmingham High School, Jim Rose, has now made more history today here at LA Valley College. He is now the first ever city section coach to be a champion in both girls flag football and guys football. Reporting from LA Valley College, I'm Alex Perez for Valley View News. After speaking to the team, many tell me that they are thankful for the entire season, and Peyton Waters is ready to continue his football career at the University of Washington. All right, it's clear no one likes mistakes. I'm sure I don't. But an Illinois man might say otherwise. Michael Sopichtal visited a Golo gas station, which is a stop he makes every time he eats at his favorite restaurant in Michigan. There he asked for a Lucky for Life ticket. Here's where his luck kicks in. The retailer accidentally printed 10 lines for a single draw. You can see the lucky ticket with the misprints. Though he noticed the misprints, Sopichtal told the retailer he still wanted the ticket. He says he checked the next morning and saw he won $25,000 a year for life. And the 60-year-old took the one-time payment of $390,000. Sopichtal told the lottery he plans to save and use the money for traveling.
I cannot even imagine winning the lottery, yet alone, on accident.
I would personally take out all that money at once as well. It's a lot of money. What would you do with that money?
I would probably put it all in savings, for the loans.
I would for sure just redo my parents' entire house. My mom's always saying how she wants to redo the whole house and get 2 stories, so I would for sure do that.
That's a good idea for sure. Well, that's all for us at Valley View News. I'm Tashi Rios.
And I'm Alex Perez. For stories any time of day, see our YouTube channel at Valley View News and our Instagram page at Valley View News CSUN. Thanks for watching.